Alice Amanda from the Little Bluebird Gallery, and today we're going to talk about mixed media art. What is mixed media art? How do you make mixed media art? And some little tips about finding the right colors and the right things that are going to go together when you're adding all these fun little textures and designs and patterns. Okay, so here is an example of a mixed media painting. And by mixed media, what I mean is there are lots and lots of different mediums that are mixed and put on this canvas. So we've got some crackle medium up here. We've got, that looks like sheet music that I used back here. We've got acrylic paint. We've got a doily. We've got some cutouts, some little graphics. We've got palette knife work with acrylic paint. There's some stenciling with these polka dots. There's some rubber stamps here. Just a mixture of all different kinds of things that you layer and create that all work together and become your painting. So one of the challenges with making mixed media art is making sure that all of your colors are working well together. So you don't want to put in something that is, well, I'll just give you some examples. Okay, let's put that to the side. And first of all, I want to show you, a lot of times what you can do is just grab one of these at your craft store, which would be just like a scrapbook stack of papers. And these are going to already have the same kinds of hues and just the same family of look to it. So this one has a lot of florals, and it's a little bit more of a vintage muted color scheme. So let's just look at this, for example. This floral pattern is a little bit muted. It's not a bright color. And so if I were to use this in some mixed media art, I would not want to put a bright red color with it. What I would want to do is look at the colors that are here and then pull from other places. If I don't want to use the same book, different things in the same book, we can pull from other places that have similar colors. Like this, for example. We've got the pinks here. Something like this would work well with it. It still has that vintage vibe to it. So even though these are all different patterns, they could all work together in the same mixed media painting, because there is green, green, green. We've got pink, pink, and a pink here. These colors all work together, and it's all more like a vintage family of colors. Okay, so when you're adding other things like doilies or fabric or lace, you can even add ribbon. This is a wired ribbon, but all you have to do is cut it and then pull the wire out, and you can use that in your mixed media art. But when you're pulling together things like that, you need to make sure that those colors mesh well also. So let's look at this ribbon right here. So this is like a lace, pretty lace ribbon. And you wouldn't want to necessarily use it with something like this, but you could use it with something like what we had earlier, like this. And see, those are both more of an antique look, a more vintage look. You could even use it with something like this. but it's not going to look so great with something that's bright and bold like this. So when you're choosing your colors, the patterns are not as important as the colors. Okay, so let's switch to a bright and bold color scheme. So let's say we're going to use something like this. Then this is going to look great with it. This is going to look great with it. This is going to look great with it. This is a totally different vibe than our more antique and vintage look. So, and if you notice, these are all different patterns. And if you look at this, that's not going to look as good with this as something that's bright and bold like this. So, working together, you can find lots of different combinations. You could even put this with it if you wanted to. And use bits and pieces of all of these that are all this bright, bold color scheme to create something that is a mixed media painting. Okay, so like I said, for this one, this is more of a vintage vibe going here. We've got a lot of pastels. If I were to try to use something on this that was as bold as that, it's not going to work as well as if I were to use something that is more muted like this. Okay, so that is one of the challenges of working with mixed media art, pulling all of the right things together to create the right kind of work. So when you're choosing yours, make sure that your colors are in the same kind of family, the same kind of vibe, either bold and bright, vintage, pastel. Just think about it the same way you would think about decorating in a room or picking out a certain outfit that you would wear. This is the same sort of thing. Your patterns and your elements are not as important as far as matching goes as the color scheme. So you could have polka dots and stripes and florals and chevron and, you know, music notes. All those things can go together in one piece as long as the colors are going to be in the same kind of genre, family. Make it look somewhat cohesive.